Call this regular meeting of Grand Forks City Council to order. Can I have a motion to adopt the amended agenda? We're adding a late item to it. Councillor Smith, Councillor Kendall, all those in favor? Carried. May 28th, regular meeting minutes, motion to adopt. Councillor Smith, Councillor Kendall, all those in favor? Opposed? May 28th, primary committee meeting and recommendations contained herein. Motion, Councillor O'Doherty, Councillor Wires. All those in favor? Carried. We are at reports from councillors, and maybe Councillor O'Doherty would start on the side.
Yes, Your Worship, thank you. I attended the CFM in Saskatoon last week with yourself, Your Worship. It was a great meeting. I attended a meeting with the policing RCMP. Everybody has the same problem as in this area. And I attended the police of Saskatoon meetings, which was very nice. And I attended a meeting regarding sport, hockey and baseball and softball, and that was a great meeting. And I met a lot of people, Your Worship, from back east that I met before. That was great. And I want to thank the mayor and the council for giving me the chance to go there, and the staff. Thank you, Your Worship.
Welcome, Patrick. And I have to say, Patrick was very busy. His French really comes in handy. You can see him when he speaks French. He's way more animated. So I suggested we allow him occasionally to report in French, and we would have a translation.
Your Worship, I just forgot one thing. I met with the minister. The minister that's involved with giving those grants. So I had a chance to talk to him for about a minute. I gave him my business card from the city.
I'm hoping you will remember.
Good
work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. Councillor O'Doherty. Councillor Wires.
Well, thank you, Your Worship. Well, my report is small this week, but I did want to report on the 7th Annual Rural BC Community Summit that I attended from June the 7th to the 9th here in Grand Forks, where we saw delegates from around the province come together for some excellent networking. And the CEO of Selkirk College, Angus Graham, in his opening remarks, commented on the partnerships that they are looking forward to in their new strategic planning, ideally with the local library organizations that deliver the services and programs locally. So it was interesting that his comment referred to libraries and the role that they play in literacy in our communities. Part of that networking, I met Robert Dennis, Regional District Similkameen, Okanagan. And Mr. Dennis had visited Grand Forks back in the fall of 2008, looking for the historic arrowheads and spearheads that had been found here that were some 8,000 years old. So it was nice that he recognized me from the position that I was in at that time at the Visitor Center. And he wanted to know if I could line him up with the curator or individuals at the Boundary Museum Society to document the spearheads after 4 years. And so I managed to do that for him on Saturday afternoon after the conference, after the summit. And we all met at the Boundary Museum Society with Sue Adrian. And they were very, very pleased. They took photos. They are working now on a relationship to exchange artifacts back and forth with the First Nations from the Okanagan. And it was very, very rewarding to see the smiles on their face, to know that they documented the serial numbers that accompany, or the Boundary Museum inventory numbers. Mm-hmm. And Sue went through the process where they have everything
cataloging system.
And also that the spearheads they are making a special display case for these spearheads, And I have to say, they were empowering to see them because they look brand new. Like they shine like seashell type finishing, the chisel work on them. One of them is broken. There was 3 of them, so one of them is in pieces, but they've got all the pieces marked and identified. And so it was very rewarding to see our First Nations neighbors from the Okanagan who will be working with our museum in our region to bring those artifacts back and forth. So, and networking. Well, I met Graham Watt. And he is the consultant working on Phase 2 of the Kettle River Watershed Project.
Yeah.
And so I was pleased to meet Graham, and I explained to him about the Grand Forks Environment Committee. So he asked me, he's going to be doing a presentation, I guess, on June the 18th out at Midway.
In Midway.
Yes. So he's asked me to, he's going to be sending me a poster or bulletin so that I can redirect it to everyone on the Environment Committee. And that is my report.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Moving around. Councillor Kendall.
Thank you, Your Worship. My report also is quite short. I attended the BC Rural Summit along with Councillor Lyers and Councillor Smith. Attended several workshops that were very informative and found that the networking is very valuable with these things. The other thing that we did was we had a meeting with the Economic Development Committee, a small group of us who are working on the RFP, the request for proposal for the branding, and that process is underway and hopefully will be done quite soon. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you. Councillor Krog.
I've been away, so I have no report at this time.
Could you tell us a bit about New Orleans?
No, the records have been sealed.
Councillor Krog is
It
doing
is
a
a
cooking contest again.
Foreign country,
Foreign land.
a foreign land.
Well, next time we'll expect something.
Yeah.
And Councillor Smith.
Thank you, Your Worship. As I mentioned before, we attended the Rural Summit. The seminars I went to were around the partnership that Selkirk has made with the Columbia Basin Trust and the Rural Development Institute. And we did a couple of workshops on brainstorming and what kind of research projects might help our community and other communities like us in procuring money and setting goals and working towards them. So made lots of contacts in that context and hope to get together with those people, electronically or in person to keep pushing that project forward and working with the RDI.
Great, thank you.
And then, the RFP. So we're hoping to have something by our next EDAC meeting to present to the rest of the group there as far as an RFP goes, and then, of course, it'll come to council after that.
Great. Right, in my report, FCM, 1,700 people all lined up with the same message. We want infrastructure money. It was pretty overwhelming, and the rhetoric, they were celebrating the birth of the word infrastructure, which is apparently a big deal because before that they called it sewer and water and stuff. So it was the kind of thing where you realize that to really be part of the game at this point and challenge, you got to find a way in. And my impression was that the FCM staff could be really useful to us, that they themselves are in a position where they could work with a small community like ours to press our case, and they might have more open doors than us attempting to push our way into a cabinet minister's office when, one project in Montreal with a bridge and a couple overpasses was $2 billion. So, our needs are certainly not going to stand out there, but I think if we were to work with that organization, we'd have a better chance. Other than that, the FCM is in Vancouver next year, so even though I didn't find it all that engaging, we made a lot of good contacts there, but it will be close to home next year. The deer count is tomorrow morning, And are you on it, Chair?
Yes, 5 a.m.
And I haven't heard yet whether it's me or not, but
Well, I'll try and recruit like this.
I think she found someone. We also have a committee meeting tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and we're hoping that we can begin to formalize the committee a little more. I'd like to, because it's gaining in importance at this point, we've got a budget, I think we need to run a more formal meeting from now on and have a minute taker and submit minutes to this council as well, just like the Economic Development Committee at this point. And the problem was that it was really hard to fill Councillor Moslin's shoes here, because he could do everything and he could type like a maniac and send out all the minutes and everything. So I got pretty overwhelmed with it, but it's time we got back in looking at this issue, and we'll attempt to bring more information to council. The BEDC regional meeting was because of a problem with Bill Baird's flight. We were canceled, and we are having a meeting on Wednesday. And the first part of it will again be in camera. The topic, and I'm hoping I'm not too far out alone on this one, is that we're going to be dealing with the discussion of a regional community forest. And I've broached this before with council. Certainly we're not going to go anywhere before it starts to connect with other communities, and then it'll come back for us to review and endorse. But I think the concept of a regional forest is an exciting direction to be looking at this point. That is my report, and I would take a motion to accept the council reports. Councillor Doherty, Councillor Smith, all those in favor. Regional District Report. I don't have a lot to say on that. I think that we're moving ahead, and we've made our case in terms of how it should proceed with the new waste kitchen waste diversion program. The minutes from the meeting are up there, and I did take note of the impact of Columbia Basin funding on all kinds of small organizations within that area on the other side of the mountain. It's really difficult to compete when you see that kind of funding going into very worthwhile projects. All of those little groups and organizations are making their communities more vibrant and more alive. But we don't get that on this side, and we certainly need to take notice of how that influences the richness of a community to be able to do that. I'll take any further questions on the regional district issues that anyone wants to bring forward. Hearing none, a motion to accept the regional district report. Councillor Wires, Councillor Doherty, all those in favor? Carried. All right. Next item is the CAO's report, Strategic Plan, Goals, and Action. This is the evaluation of the tax incentive bylaws. And if you'll recall, back in the strategic planning session, we were asking for some options there in terms of how we could stimulate the downtown businesses and the basic core of the city. And what we have is a report that summarizes a number of options. It clarifies very clearly the rules that we would have to go by to enact such a incentive, and recommends that it be passed on for review to the closest to the ground committee, which would be the Economic Development Committee. And I need a motion to approve that. Councillor Smith, Councillor Krog, discussion. Is this downloading?
Our plate's filling up, but it's relevant.
But it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Further comment? Ready for the question? All those in favor? Carried. Summary of information. Okay, can we have a motion to do as we decide on all these items? Councillor Doherty, second Councillor Kendall. And going down through the list, the correspondence and Boundary Museum received for information. Acknowledging the receipt of funding, correspondence from Sylvia Tructo, Stop the Violence campaign, received for information. I also would like to comment on this and the next item down, which is basically an encouragement from the Stop the Violence movement that we address this in a committee of the whole meeting at some future date where we let the community know in advance that we would be discussing it again. And in this point, hopefully coordinate it with Councillor Krog being in attendance. If that's acceptable, I won't ask for a motion on it. I'll just go ahead with that agenda plan and we can fit it in.
Yeah, if we could get all of council at the table.
It would be nice, but like we've run into, we haven't been successful every time, but we'll do our best to make it a time when we have full attendance. And email from Sue Thompson regarding hanging baskets, received for information. Sarah Unraw, looking for council's approval to run a special occasions license. We usually deal with these as a separate motion. If somebody, Councillor Doherty makes the motion, Councillor Smith seconds. Any discussion on this? They're looking for Angus MacDonald Park for a fastball tournament in June. Seems like they've done this before. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. The Grand Forks Flying Association Appreciation Day Fly-In August the 26th. Permission to hold an airport appreciation fly-in day, and I take it there is some insurance coverage to be put in place for this event.
Mr. Coconut, Worship.
Your Worship, if I could just interject, I think the resolution should include the words sponsor. Our insurance carriers would prefer that, just to make sure we're all covered.
Okay, so we have that added to the wording. Councillor Wire is the expert on airplanes. Any comment? Are you being part of this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The appreciation day at the
Yeah.
airport? Yeah, August 26th.
August 26th. Okay, so can we have a motion to approve this? Councillor Wires, Councillor Kendall, all those in favor? Carried. That's with the amended wording there that our CAO suggested. BC Ideas, this is an interesting idea. Certainly it's an opportunity for people to float ideas into this system and maybe get the ear of some government officials. So it'd be interesting to test that out with some ideas. And receive for information. We're moving down to UBCM updates, in-house legislative update, receive for information. Resolution deadline is the next item. Council to note the deadline is June 30th. And the May 28th task list, completed and in progress items. Economic development, 2 sets of minutes, April the 3rd and April the 24th. Thank you very much, Councillor Kendall and Smith. Receive for information. That's all the items, and all those in favor of this report? Carried. And we have no bylaws, late items. We have the one late item we didn't deal with, which was the letter from the mayor of Castlegar. And what he's looking for is us to support the, Councillor Weiss?
I would like to make a motion.
Yes, he's looking for a
Yes.
formal motion to take forward. Councillor Smith seconds. Yeah, it's no loss to us that they're expanding. I wish them well, and maybe there's some chance that we get.
Oh, this is excellent for the
it
entire
is for the region,
Yeah.
It's a regional. We have to look at everything regionally now.
right?
And this is an opportunity that Mayor Chernoff and Mayor Dooley will be going to Calgary June 27th
Yeah.
and the 28th to meet with the WestJet company.
That's good.
And I think all the letters of support that they can,
Yeah, from the region.
from yes, yeah.
Okay, well, Councillor Crock?
Yeah, just a note. The way the letter is framed, it's the regional airport for the West Kootenays, but then it keeps going on to say that it's the West Kootenay region, the West Kootenay region. It will service the West Kootenay region. So, doesn't mention boundary. So we're hoping for spin-off. Just, again, I don't know, I guess I get peeved with
Well, I think he's talking about West
More
Kootenay
narrow.
region as the big W. So I don't know whether they're talking about any established political perimeters there as much as just that.
or the lack of
Yeah.
established parameters.
But yeah, I agree with Councillor Wires that it's certainly a benefit to all of us to see this.
And
Well,
Your
I'm not
Worship,
saying-
I had asked if I could sit on that committee at the regional district table. You asked.
Yes, I
If
did.
there was an opportunity that we could have a representative
Yeah.
from our region. But they did state it was exclusive to the Castlegar Airport.
Yeah.
Because it's the Central Kootenay taxation that pays for that airport.
Yeah.
I'll continue to offer that we have a representative on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's just the divisive nature of the letter.
Yeah.
All right, the motion is to support this and to let Mayor Chernoff know that we are in favor of this for the region. All those in favor? Carried. And we have questions from the media and public. Don't run into each other on the way to the mic. Quiet night there.
Sorry, I just missed part of the information items. So you did approve the permission to sell liquor at Angus McDonald Park for late June?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
That's it. What are you going to do about all those little bikes running around on the trails with motors on them? Good evening, Matt.
Is it going to be the Columbia Basin Airport? I mean, is it going to be another one of those things? I'm just curious. Anyway, no.
Yeah.
Aside from those questions, just thought you'd like to know your YouTube stats. You guys need to have like some cute kittens or shit in your head as well. You're or something like that because I broke it up into pieces. So the very first piece, the primary committee meeting piece, that got 33 views.
Oh,
The question period, which Mona put in her Boundary Sentinel thing, got 113, that first question period. Council reports got 11. The CAO reports got 8. The info items got 5. The question period at the end got 7. So people are watching. Not that many. Not all of you, I know that. But, hey. This time I'm going to try, you might have noticed little cameras there. I'm going to try something different. You'll all be on screen all the time.
Oh, my.
So,
I don't know if I want that level of scrutiny.
Well, we'll check it
I like
out.
to make my
you'll be
occasional
a little ahead on the screen.
facial expression or
We'll check it out and see how it looks.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
That's it. Oh, I guess in my official capacity as the Historical Society president, for those of you who aren't going to the grad ceremonies on Saturday, we are having our yearly picnic at Roan, which is just north of Westbridge by the Little River Campground cut off there. And there's a bus, so if anybody wants to take us up on this and come down to the picnic, the bus will be there at 9:15 at Overway. If you're going on your own, it's around 11:30 at Roan. Saturday.
Great.
Thank you.
So I just have a quick sort of request to council. Minor girls hockey has entered a contest to get Haley Wickenheiser to come to town.
Yeah.
I'm hoping you guys could go to the website, Haley Wickenheiser's website, click on the Grand Forks entry, and just click like.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Okay.
all.
All right. We'll vote. Thanks. All right. That's it. The motion to adjourn. So moved.